My last 2 days ended in kind of a whirlwind. The one bill I did have was for physical education. Mike Bost, the famous Mike Bost, from the video release, got up and said, "Representative, I only have one question." And I said, "And what's that?" And he says, "Is this your last bill?" And I got to thinking about where that came from, because we're always asking the new people, "Is this your first bill?" And I got thinking, it very well could be. And that's the way I answered him. I said, it very well could be my last bill. And it passed unanimously. So that was a nice day. Although it may not be the last bill, because I still got one here on my desk that we're going to run a veto session, Aaron's Law. And we just got that filed. Basically, the power structure changed. Lee Daniels was when I went there, he was Speaker of the House back in 1995 to 97. We were in the majority for 2 years. It was fast-paced and busy and exciting, and I learned a ton. 2 years later, I had another close election because I had the same opponent that I had defeated in the beginning, and we lost the majority, and we became the minority. And we've been the minority for the last 15 years and 7 months. And it wasn't nearly as fast-paced nor as exciting, and a little bit tougher to get legislation passed. We have a lot of things like this last session we had a raise in the minimum wage again. Didn't get called in the House, but it did pass in the Senate to increase the minimum wage, which is already higher in the state of Illinois than it is anywhere else in the nation. We had a 67% tax increase. Those are all things that we oppose, but they passed on partisan roll calls because we're in the minority. So I've watched the pendulum switch or shift from Republican domination and a pro-business climate to one of Democrat domination and more of a union philosophy and kind of the philosophy of the nation right now with President Obama. Has it been good for Illinois? No, I don't think so. That's my personal opinion. When you look at the state of Illinois, we're in some circles, the leading poorest state in the nation. In other circles, we're the second leading, if you want to count California as the poorest, but we're right up there with them. The tax increase didn't help us much as far as the economy, which some of my Democrat friends thought it really would. It's driven a lot of business out of the state. We have about $9 billion in unpaid bills in the state of Illinois that we can't pay. We get into arguments over if there's additional funds. Should the money go to education, which has less money than ever before, or should it go to pay the unpaid bills? The way we fund education in Illinois, to redo the funding formula to make it fair across the state, to get rid of a lot of the various changes in the formula. We have about 9 different formulas floating around the state of Illinois. And, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed that I was at that time, I really thought I could do it. And the first couple of meetings I had with suburbanites there, I had Dr. Roth come down and talk too, because he was excellent with budgets and the formula. And we just got blown away by the suburbanites saying, "You're not going to do that, you're not going to do that, you're not going to do that." That just shifts more money downstate away from the suburbs. And that's the way it is in Illinois. There are 3 prominent divisions in the state of Illinois that affect how kids are funded. Chicago, which is an entity of itself, and they get a cut off the top of everything. The suburbanites, who usually pretty much are a flat grant district, they get so many dollars per student, flat out, no more, no less. And then the funding formula that Alan Hickrod created for downstate that goes through a series of mathematical manipulations to show how much money you should get, according to poverty, according to number of kids that you have that are disabled or not achieving, all of those things affect the amount of money that a school gets. And if you mess with any one of those entities and shift some of that money, the other two entities get angry. Every faction of that is very integral and complicated. And I wish I had more success in that area, but I didn't.